Welcome to Bea TV, Becoming Everything You Are, sponsored by Raytheon Technologies, and I'm your host, Marcia Hughes. During the Black Engineer of the Year Awards Conference, I've assisted participants in unearthing their stellar achievements in STEM excellence with the goal of revealing their career and advancing brilliance of STEM essence. Bea STEM Conference is the place where trailblazing STEM professionals turn their STEM story into STEM stardom. And now, please welcome our next guest.
Super sensational Saturday. My name is Odetta Scott and I work for Raytheon Technologies as an associate director in indirect procurement. Something interesting about me, I love to roller skate.
I love it. So let's talk about you roller skating, girl.
I love
you
it.
You must be from South Bend, Indiana.
Not quite from Mississippi, but roller skating is still a thing. Very
that's exactly right. I love it. That's wonderful. So I bet you know how to do all those spins and spreads and all of that.
Somewhat, yes. Not everything. Look, there is definitely room for me to grow in that area, but I have fun, right?
So. I know you do. And I bet you have fun with your corporation and the things that you're doing. Let's talk about what you do.
Okay, sure. Thank you all so much for having me. And as I stated in my video, super sensational STEM Saturday, right? Since we're at Bea. An honor to be here. And so as an associate director for supply chain with Raytheon Technologies, I am currently serving as a program manager. I'm leading a transformative initiative to improve how we do contingent labor. So how we onboard and offboard our contractors, not just domestically, but as well as globally. So really excited about the initiative and the improvements it'll make, right? From driving compliance improvements to visibility to data, as well as savings and, improving our organization.
So what did you do in preparation for this large position?
So for this large position, I have been very fortunate and blessed to navigate, right? A career of over 22 years, background in mechanical engineering. So definitely starting with the engineering background and forte, shall I say, of problem solving, right? And the great thing about the problem solving skill set is it's something that's transferable, regardless of if you're in engineering or business function or supply chain or operations. Engineering is the business of solving problems. So then being able to take my career from, manufacturing engineering to process improvement to continuous improvement to just various roles increasing in leadership throughout Raytheon Technologies to supply chain has been exciting, right? I've been in supply chain for about 2.5 years, but those roles and building relationships and that transferable skill set has helped me, get prepared for this role, Marcia.
So this is a huge job. Like you're talking numbers about a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and your responsibility is broad and deep,
yes.
Right?
Yes, it is. Yep.
And so how do you bring all that together, and what kind of team did you have to amass in order to be able to reach those goals and objectives, because they're different, right?
Yes.
Each section has its own, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to bring that together, but you got to bring a team that is inclusive, and they're coming from different areas in order to shape the ultimate delivery.
Yes. This initiative, Marcia, touches not just supply chain, it touches engineering, it touches operations. So it touches, and we have participation from all of those functions, right? As well as very heavy participation from supply chain. And while I am leading a portion of this project for my business within Raytheon Technologies, it will cross all the businesses within Raytheon Technologies. So that's an exciting piece, right? To drive the alignment, right? And connect the dots, right? Getting that that upfront voice of the customer to understand the landscape, what it is we need, and then driving that to closure through relationship building, process improvements, as well as, from the bid to implementation, right? Just it is an iterative process in trying to get there. But definitely from a skill set perspective, the team is very talented, right? And I will say, hands down, no one makes it to their position in a career alone, right? It takes a village. So my mantra is really around each one reach one. So as I bring the team together on our weekly cadences, and sometimes more often than that, it's about not only, this project, but the personal relationship of how are you really doing and what's going on in order to get that buy-in up front and keep that sustaining momentum going, because it has been a multi-year effort and initiative.
And each one of these are sometimes individual pillars that you have to intersect. Is that?
Yes, that's very true. Intersect as, supply chain's requirement and engineering's requirements. Sometimes they may coincide. Sometimes they may be able to integrate. Sometimes they may be oil and water, right? So it's really working through, finding that 80 to 90% solution in the areas of where we can flex. There may be some areas where we can flex that will suit both, but the foundation needs to be solid, right?
And so you can't play with that either. You can't play with that foundation.
Correct. If your foundation is solid, engineering from a background perspective, STEM, right? Being solid there enables you to go out and do other things, continuing to build on that foundation, but you have to have a solid foundation.
So what would you tell your younger self today?
I would tell my younger self, even my first role, be confident in who you are. Know that you had value. Day one, from the perspective of not having a career yet, right? So just day one on the job. For me, in full transparency, I was probably less vocal than I am now. And probably looked around the room. I had several tenured employees that I had to lead and find a way to influence, right? I'm the new youngest, shall I say, person on the team, and I'm coming in trying to give direction on this is how we can improve this, or this is what we need to change. And I'm talking to people who probably created the print, who developed the processes, so how do you say, and jokingly, how do you say your baby is ugly and we're going to, do what we can to make it better? People don't receive that well. So you don't say that. That's not what you say, but you build the relationship, right? You cannot say that.
You cannot say that.
No, you build the relationship and the trust, and then it becomes more of a, how can we improve this together? How can we shift this together to impact the business, right? And it's not all about me, it's about the team.
Right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And too often when we sit down and we look at where we're coming from and to that new place, did we really acquire the skill set to manage and navigate those relationships and those divisions to bring them together in departments?
And that can be that I totally hands down, I agree with you, because it can be challenging, right? There may be some personalities that you don't necessarily assimilate to or agree with, but you still need those individuals, right? The skill set they bring is still valuable. That's the beauty of diversity, right? It's not just the things you can see, it's the experiences, the skill sets, the knowledge. And so being able to tap into that, because we know that more diverse teams are more innovative, they're more profitable. And so based on that, really putting that disagreement aside, or being able to, be adults and agree to disagree to get the work done, right? And come up with a win-win for both solutions, for both individuals.
And I love that we can agree to disagree. because at some point you got to walk away.
Right. You got to
But
move on.
You got to move on, but you got to leave people whole.
Yes. Because there's going to be some time in the future, to your point, you may have to come back to that individual, and you're going to want to be able to leverage that relationship, right? So you don't want to burn bridges.
That's right. And I think there needs to be a course somewhere, and there may be, that in how to have corporate or government or professional ability, teaching people how to have relationship development, right? Because it's huge. It's huge on so many levels, because you got to deal with so many people who've been there for 30 years and not ready to retire, but they always did it this way. And now we got somebody that sees something new, and now they see it in a whole different manner, but you can't step on the toes. There's all these little isms.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
Right? You gotta navigate a lot.
And
of
I attended a session today, Miss Marsha, where they talked about, the importance of building relationships and getting to know the not just the person that you see at work every day, but if they have a family, if they have children, getting to know and build that rapport really it is, from my eyes, a foundational element to building relationships, as well as being a leader, right? Because it's not all about you, but the mission and taking care of your people, making sure they have what they need, right?
That's right. And you have to be mission ready too.
Yes.
Mission ready.
Yes, definitely, all the time.
So I'm going to back up, and I know you're going to run, because I want you to spend that time with your family.
Thank you.
How do we take all of this, all of these experiences that you have, all these people that you've worked with, and we go into the middle schools, and I love the middle schools because they're in that pivotal point. How do we get these young people to stay focused on where they need to be going and what they need to be doing in order to get there? And how do we create an infrastructure or a program that speaks specifically to those middle school kids in keeping them focused and with their eye on the bigger prize?
Right. Great question. Look, great question. There are several initiatives, right, that are out there that, and I won't say cater to, but I would say target middle school. From your standpoint, Ms. Marsha, research shows that at middle school is when you start making those decisions around what it is you want to do and what it is you want to be. I know for me growing up, I had aspirations of becoming an astronaut. Though that didn't happen, that's what led me to engineering.
Okay.
Right. So I consider it a dream deferred, but still, you know what? If I can't go up, then I can at least become an engineer to help others go up. Right. That was the thought. And so in the 7th and 8th grade is when I had to start thinking about, well, what are the classes that I need in order to be prepared to go to school to get, the advanced degree in engineering, and starting out from that perspective. And so I would definitely say outreach programs with companies. I work for Raytheon Technologies. We do have an outreach program. Mentoring programs as well, I think, are very vital and crucial from the standpoint. It's not a one-off, but a sustainable relationship. Showing those positive role models. If I can see it, I can be it. Right? I did not see anyone that looked like me as an engineer when I was younger. Right. And so then now that I am that person and know that I can be an example and a positive role model, I take an active role in going back, right, and giving back. One of my mantras is each one reach one, because it's very important. I didn't get here, as we were talking about earlier, Ms. Marsha, I didn't get here, alone. And so there's a village and a group that helped me. It's our responsibility to help the next generation.
That's right. And we don't have an option.
Right. We do not. It is not oh no, but not today. No, it's every day, because that is our STEM pipeline.
That's
right. And so one is outreach, mentoring, positive role models, and having a consistent touch point, and not just, I'm going to go see them once a year, but exposing them to the different elements of STEM, what that really means, the different opportunities. And, you know, there are oftentimes I go into middle schools and I say, well, who likes math and who likes science? And you have students, they sit back and they are like, well, I don't like math. Well, who likes money? Everybody likes money, right? All the students raises their hand. And so then so I know what I'm working with. We like money. So then if that's the point, then let's start talking about, you know, what you can earn as a starting number for someone in engineering. And you make it fun. Engineering is in everything we touch, see, do, and feel, from the time we wake up in the morning till the time we go to sleep. It's just
That's real. And that's real. Everything we touch.
Yes,
every
ma'am.
light, every switch,
yes, everything. From your toothbrush in the
all
morning.
of it. Right. All of it. All of it.
Yeah.
And you can't play with it either, because this is real.
Yes.
And just think now, if you get committed to this, you could be creating your own stuff.
Yes.
Right?
For
the world.
Right. Patents make the world a better place, and at the same time be compensated for such.
And making that money, because you know that's what they want. That is
that money. And I look at that. You got to have perspective, right? You got to meet them where they are,
right,
in order to bring them along.
Exactly.
Right? And so I'll meet you where you are, right? Meet you where you are, and then we're going to kind of sprinkle and nurture as we go and grow, and then, you know, help them understand the options that are available. And then, to your point, 7th and 8th grade, you know, you can't decide, or it's more challenging if you decide in high school, I'm going to go into engineering, and if you don't have the math courses that you need to take, right? Because then you are playing catch up. More challenging math courses there, maybe some summer math courses and things like that to get you prepared for pre-calc and calculus and differential equations.
Stuff that you need, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But this is a program, so I'm turning it over to you, Odetta.
Okay. Well, I know several that exist. Raytheon Technologies plug has Math Moves You that typically goes out, you know, 7th, 8th grade middle school students are our target. We also work with high schoolers, just again to be that positive role model, to provide that mentorship opportunity, to be if I can see it, I can be it, and be a resource for questions, right? And help as they grow along the path. And it's not just I saw them 2 years ago and moving on.
And the little byline for it is, we meet you where you are.
You know what? I'm gonna have to write that down, Miss Marsha. I know we talked about it. I'm gonna put it in my phone right now.
Put it in your phone.
And I will look every time we talk about it. When it comes to fruition, I'm gonna say I was on an interview for Bam.
And we meet you where you are.
Yes,
and that's real.
Yes,
and that's real. And we've got to
real.
do that. We don't have an option, because that's our future, right?
Yes. And it's very important.
I know you got a role. Congratulations on your award. You know, you're now part of the Baya family. So the expectation is understood that we will see you next February, if we don't see you first at the Women of Color in October.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm looking forward to it. Thank you all so much. It's been an honor and a privilege. And let's go get our youth aligned to the STEM pipeline, right? Do what we got to do.
Outstanding.
So thank you very much. Super excited. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a good evening.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.